Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, Mr. Zaki. My name is Farizwan Misanusi and I am one of the members of Group Hertz. So for today, our group is going to present about tidal power for our Nali 2 assignment. And I'm going to present about the first part of the video. Okay, so tidal power, also can be called as tidal energy, is an energy that we harness from the fall and rise of the ocean tides and currents. So it is a renewable energy because it depends on a natural source that will not run out. And furthermore, tidal power is also a clean energy because it emits no greenhouse gases compared to non-renewable energy such as fossil fuels and coals. And a fun fact, the energy converters for the tidal power are usually located near the coastline because it is far much easier to maintain and capture the energy. So as we know, there are a total of 9 tidal power stations that are currently in operation. So here are some examples. So the first one is Sinhwa Lake Tidal Power Station, which is located in South Korea. It has the most capacity compared to the others. It can hold a total capacity of 254 megawatts. And then followed by Reims Tidal Power Station, which is located in France. It has a total capacity of 240 megawatts. And then followed by Annapolis Royal Generating Station in Canada. It has a total capacity of 20 megawatts. And then lastly, we have the Jiangsha Tidal Power Station in China, which can hold a total capacity of 3.2 megawatts of energy. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Benedict. I will explain on how does tidal power work. There are three main ways to harness the energy created by tides: tidal turbines, tidal barrage, and tidal fences. Tidal turbine. Tidal turbines are very similar to wind turbines, except they are below the water surface instead of above or on land. The water's current pushes the blades of the turbine, which is connected to a generator that creates electricity. Tidal turbines are able to produce much more electricity than wind power plants, mainly because water is much denser than air. Tidal turbines are large, but they create relatively little disruption to the ecosystem around them. Tidal barrage. Tidal barrage are low-volt dams, usually installed at tidal inlets. Tidal turbines are located towards the bottom of the barrage, inside a tunnel, which allow water to flow through. Tidal barrages look like traditional hydropower dams. During an incoming high tide, water flows over the turbines as the water rises. Then, the water flows back through the turbines as it becomes low tide. The turbines are connected to a generator which produces the electricity. Tidal fence. A tidal fence is like a hybrid between tidal barrage and tidal turbines. Tidal fences have vertical blades that are pushed by moving water. The vertical tidal fence turnstiles are installed together like a fence-like structure, hence the name tidal fence. Instead of spinning like a propeller, tidal fences spin like turnstile. To create electricity, the energy from tidal current pushes the turnstile blades, which are connected to a generator. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, now let's move on into the advantages of tidal energy. Firstly, it is clean and compact. Tidal power is non-green energy source, at least in terms of emitting zero greenhouse gases. It also doesn't take up that much space. Right, so the largest tidal project in the world is the Sinhwa Lake Tidal Power Station in South Korea with an installed capacity of 254 megawatt. Right, so another benefit of tidal power is that it is predictable. The gravitational forces of celestial bodies are not going to stop anytime soon. Furthermore, as high and low tide is cyclical, it is far easier for engineers to design efficient system than, say, predicting when the wind will blow or when the sun will shine. Tidal power is also relatively prosperous at low speeds in contrast to wind power. Moreover, Technological advances in the industry will only drive cheaper and more sustainable tidal power solutions. Longevity of equipment. Tidal power plants can last much longer than wind or solar farms at around 4 times the longevity. Tidal barrages are long concrete structures usually built across river estuaries. The barrages have tunnels along them containing turbines, which are turned when water on one side flows through the barrage to the other side. Next, tidal power plants are able to produce high amounts of electricity. One of the main reasons for this is because water is so dense, almost 800 times more dense than air. This means that a tidal turbine will produce substantially more energy than a wind turbine of the same size. Plus, even when water is moving at low speeds, the density of water allows it to power a turbine. So tidal turbines have the potential to produce large amounts of electricity even if the condition of the water aren't. Last but not least, tidal also serves as coastal protection. Tidal energy can be harnessed by using small dams and barrages. So that's all for the advantages of tidal energy.
So I want to talk about disadvantages of the tidal power. First is construction costs. Even though the long-term generation cost for tidal power plant is relatively good compared to the other renewable energy system, the drawback of this power plant is the high upfront cost. First, the installation needs the manufacturer who expertise to build and install this structure in turbulent sea. The second expense related to build the component of power plant. For example, the the tidal energy turbine needs to be sturdier than the wind turbine. It is because of the high density of water. So the cost for the turbine will be more expensive than the wind turbine. And lastly, for managing the power plants, it's required to hire expertise from environmentalists such as marine biologists and geographical experts. These experts need to conduct analysis continuously related to the effect on their operating environment. The second disadvantage is environmental effect. Even it's referred to be a renewable energy, doesn't mean it was eco-friendly. For example, the turbine can accidentally kill the sea animal who swimming through the turbine. Also, the turbine can produce the low freq sound and EMF emission. The low freq sound can affect the marine mammals such as whales and dolphins, and the impact of the EMF emission can be diverting some animal migratory route and attract the animals to the source of EMF emitted. The third disadvantage is limited location. Tidal power plant needs to be built in specific location that fulfill the requirement. For example, it has to build on a coastline or in a place where the low and high tide have significant difference, even though the location itself needs even though the location is fulfill the requirement, you still need to be cautious because it will give a bad impact to the marine environment. And lastly, energy demand. While tidal power produce can be predicted, but it can produce constantly because the operations depends on high and low tides. It means this type of power plant able to produce energy, but sometimes didn't meet up the consumer energy demand.
Okay, now the last part about conclusion. Even though this energy is one of renewable energy, but this energy is contrary to Sustainable Development Goals number 14, which is life below water, because it can endanger the fish around the power plant. For example, the turbine can accidentally kill the fish that are around the turbine, or there is some electromagnetism that can affect marine organisms. And then the location for making these power plants is very limited. We know to use tidal energy we need sea as a place to make tidal power plant. But not every country have a sea, so only some countries can use this energy. However, tidal energy has enormous potential. Tidal energy is sustainable energy because the tides will not stop and it's predictable, not like solar cell. We don't know when the weather will rainy or not. And even though tidal energy need high construction costs, but it can be used for a long time. So tidal energy is a good choice for the future energy, especially if we can reduce the negative impact. As maybe in the future, this power plant will be friendly to life below water, which is support sustainable development goals number 14. But due to the limited location problem, maybe in the future this energy is not the main energy source like coal energy nowadays, but will still contribute to the availability of energy for humans. And I think it is enough. Thank you.